Hi everyone and welcome to my episode review for The Doctor's Wife. Before I start, I'm going to do some more news and it's good, very good. First of all, I went and got a pack of microfigure, and I felt a Dalek, so I got a Dalek and yay! I got one at last. But there was a kid even, in the shop. He bought 2 packets. Last night I opened a packet and I could feel a skirt. And I thought I could feel a horned head, so I was like, oh yes, it must be Restak or it's Amy. Sadly, Amy. And then I also had a Dalek. Drone, strategist. This kid bought 2. He got a Dalek and one with a skirt. Guess what? Drone and Restak. How? How did he do that? It was just luck. Yeah. Okay. Also, I'm going to do a shout out. Now, every week in my episode reviews, I am going to do a shout out. If you want a shout out, send me a message. Like Mega Shorts does. Just subject shout out. But unlike him, I'm not going to give everyone a shout out. I will only do one a week in my episode reviews, and if you're a good friend to me and you ask me, I might occasionally personally give you one in one of my reviews. So send me a message saying shout out, capital letters, and I will pick one before I do my episode review at random and I'll give you the shout out. But this week's shout out goes to the TARDIS 99 because he has recently reached 100 subscribers. So, well done. Okay, now onto my episode review of The Doctor's Wife. Oops. I should really cut that out, but I could cut it out using iMovie, but still, I don't really want to, because I'm lazy. Okay, here we go. The Doctor's Wife. So, I loved it. Best episode for ages. I think best episode since the end of time in the 11th hour. Amazing. For these reasons. Very quick summary. We got to see more parts of the TARDIS. 10 out of 10. The TARDIS had a voice. 10 out of 10. Everything was happy in the end. 10 out of 10. And the little surprise. Sort of surprise. Alright, now I'll do a full review. You've probably watched the episode, so I don't have to do everything, but the biggest thing is the Omega issue. Everything that led to everyone believing was Omega wasn't Omega. Now this is the weird part. I still think Omega's returning because do you remember how the first teaser trailer had the Doctor and the TARDIS and the astronaut, and then there was sometimes a silent behind him, sometimes there wasn't? In the trailer for Series 6, we saw that TARDIS bit. If you pause it at the right time, you can definitely see Omega's mask. And it's not an optical illusion of the junk TARDIS. It is definitely Omega. And that golden bubble of light goes on for much longer than it actually did in the episode. My theory on this is just like, remember with the Big Bang, at the beginning we had the first scene of the 11th hour again, so Amelia praying to Santa, and then the TARDIS should have crashed, but it didn't. Everything had been altered. I think they're going to do that again, but instead of a junk TARDIS appearing, I bet it's going to be Omega, because I still think he's coming back, and that was definitely an Omega mask. Definitely. Also, the junk TARDIS was awesome. That girl who designed it, when she was watching that, must have been flipping in the inside. Actually going, wow. That was really good. And it was really touching when the TARDIS actually said all it ever wanted to say was, hello, nice to meet you. And it's true. Also what I loved was the fact that the Doctor doesn't read instructions. It says pull to open on the door. He always pushes. Which makes no sense at all. That is so true. And yeah, it was a thoroughly good episode. I really recommend watching it. It's a shame about the fact that Ood dies, but the Doctor was really like, oh, hello. I thought he would have something against Ood since they summoned his probably most favourite body to his death. So, yeah. But I did love the episode. I'm so glad we got to see more parts of TARDIS at last. And I don't think it was the same console room as they used for the David Tennant era they used in this. I don't think it was. It looked different. Like, the biggest thing was the actual panels. You know, it's got that outline, that console, like that goes down then out like that. The panels were too low down. There was like a gap between the wooden bit and the panel. It was like that gap where normally it was just like that. So you'll see what I mean if you get it in the right shot. And that's so cool to bring it back so early. And it was good what the Doctor says about the TARDIS consoles, where they go. He says they either get deleted or remodeled, was it? Reshaped, something like that. So I think this last console didn't get deleted. I know the TARDIS archived it, but I think it didn't get deleted. I think it was just reshaped into the new one, so that was good. One thing I wanted to say is in the Impossible Astronaut, Amy says she wanted to tell the Doctor something, but stuff gets in the way. I'd probably slow at realising it, but I think that what she was referring to the Comic Relief episode when she wanted to tell him something. And then I heard a while back that in the pre-credits teaser of this episode, it settles an argument that's been raging in fandom for a long time. So I thought that might be the answer to what Amy wanted to tell him in the Comic Relief special. But it wasn't, and it was really confusing because I was trying to work out what it was, but I think it was, the most obvious thing is the fact that he said there was a Time Lord that regenerated into a woman, so I think that sort of proves the point that a Time Lord can have a female body, even though there are Time Ladies. Final thing I have to say about this episode is, oh yeah, the only water in the forest is the river. Obviously River Song, and I don't know what it's going to mean, but it's got something to do with either Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead or the Time of the Angels, because she was in the forest in both of them. I really don't know what it means, because that's sort of pointless, because we know what happens in those episodes, so I think she's going to be in a forest again. Right? Lovely. And that is it. I give the episode a 10 out of 10, and this review's been quite long, so 10 out of 10, definitely watch it. And the good news is, that was episode 4. We got 5 and 6, a two-parter. They always go really quickly, a two-parter. Then, A Good Man Goes to War, which is going to ruin our summer holidays, because we're going to be waiting for ages to find out what the cliffhanger was. So, okay then, I will see you guys again shortly.